Welcome back. This is John Locke, and today I'm talking about an article that I recently saw online, and I will link it down below. Can't remember who wrote it off the top of my head, but I'll link it up later in show notes. This article was talking about how the best SEO is to just blog for a long period of time and write high quality content, and you'll naturally get links, you'll naturally have good SEO because the AI in Google is moving toward favoring high quality content. And this was written by a web developer. And the reason why I wanted to highlight this particular article is because there is I've received a lot of feedback from different developers, and I've seen a lot of this same sentiment online. I actually saw some of this in a Facebook group recently where somebody said the same thing. They said like AI is moving toward favoring quality content written by humans for humans, and this particular article said the same thing. And I wanted to express that I wanted to give my thoughts on this too, because there's a couple things that I've noticed in things that people have said online, or things that people have said to me, or things that I've seen expressed online. And I agree with a lot of what this article said, but there are some parts that I'm going to have to put my foot down and say that I disagree with, and I'm going to point out why this works. This kind of methodology, it will work really fine if you are a web designer or a web developer, but there's going to be a point where it breaks down if you're a regular business owner, and SEO is not going to work exactly like this in the real world if you are a business owner of various types of industries. And the real practical thing that you have to look at here. Okay, so one of the things that I keep seeing, and I've seen it probably 3 or 4 times this week alone, expressed is by web developers, by web designers, is yes, the AI is going to favor quality content, so focus on quality content. And I don't have an issue with that. I pretty much agree with that 100%. But I think there is like an undertone to some of the conversations that I saw where I think some web designers still kind of perceive SEO as something that it's not in 2020. I think a lot of people still perceive it as something maybe that it was in 2011, which it is not anymore. And in this particular article, the author said that SEO shouldn't be about building links because it's like shady and you're setting up all these networks of sites that link to your site. And what this person was talking about was a private blog network. And he even said that Google has taken steps to smash those down, which is true. Private blog networks really do not have the same power that they did post 2014. There's actually an article, a very famous article called Confessions of a Google Spammer, which talks about this, how the drop-off happened. Now, there are still people who use PBNs, private blog networks, or the people who still sell links, though one thing, if you pay particular attention to SEO, in the last few years, you've seen a lot, and I mean a lot, of famous people who are well-known in SEO that had some sort of link selling businesses, or they would craft links for you, basically use article farms, where they'd use domains that they own to sell you links, or they would do links for you. A lot of those people went out of business in the last couple of years, and there's a reason why. It's because the effectiveness of these links that they're selling just isn't there anymore, because as soon as Google detects a private blog network, it's pretty much smashed out. That's not what we sell, and that's not what most of the people that I know in SEO sell. The only people who sell this kind of stuff are scammers. And yeah, they do exist, but that to me is not what SEO is in 2020. It hasn't been for like quite a few years. The other thing that people talk about as if it's a big revelation is that quality content is, Google likes quality content. The problem is you're talking about what humans like. Okay, so when it comes to building a following, yeah, that's one thing for sure. And especially when you're talking about web developers or web designers writing for other web developers or other web professionals, it's very easy to get links naturally because guess what? You're writing to the people that build websites for a living, and they all write on their blogs, and they all have their own websites too where they write or they create websites for other people. So yeah, it's a lot easier to get links when your audience is people who build websites for a living, web designers, marketers, web developers. That part works in that particular section of the world, but there's a lot of sections of the world where this is not going to work. I'm going to get to this in just a second. So yes, Google does love quality content. A lot of people act like this is a big revelation. Like I said, it's not. People think, when they say stuff like that, I get the implication that people think that SEO is keyword stuffing your site or keyword stuffing your articles or your pages and just repeating stuff. And again, that's something from like 1999. That hasn't really been an effective method in a long time. Google's AI, or their RankBrain, or their natural language API, I'll put a link to that up here, is a lot smarter than I think a lot of people realize when they make statements like this. It's not 100% perfect, and it's definitely not, the same level as a human, but it's a lot more advanced than you are giving it credit for. SEO is not about private blog networks. SEO is not about keyword stuffing. It's not about any of those things. Yeah, you have to have quality content. That's something that any competent SEO, any credible SEO in 2020 is going to tell you, is that you must have quality content. The problem is, when you're talking about, I'm just writing about solving problems and that's how I get rankings. Yes, that's SEO. That's not a revelation. All these things work together. The design of the site, the content of the site, the links to your site, the reputation of your site, the reputation of your brand, all these things work together as SEO. They're not all isolated. Everything works together for SEO. So if you believe that SEO is just keyword stuffing or shady link building or some other form of manipulation, you're talking about outdated methods that everybody that has an ounce of credibility in SEO doesn't even try and do these things anymore, hasn't for many, many years. Okay, so let's talk about this part, where it starts to break down. When you're talking about web designers and web developers, I'm just going to create content every week for 2 years, and that's how I'm going to get rankings. That's a great prescription if you're a web designer or a web developer or a marketer. But if you are if you own like an auto repair shop or an HVAC business, or if you're a plumber or an electrician, or if you run a small manufacturing company, or if you're you're making physical products like industrial products or industrial tools, or you're manufacturing some product or something like that, or you're some other form of industrial company, you're not going to sit down every week and blog for 2 years. It's just not going to happen. These people don't have that time. They're too busy running their business, and they're not going to sit down and blog about solving problems for 2 years. You're going to be lucky to get one blog post out of 2 years. In most of these cases, these people just don't have the time. That's reality. I hate to break it to you. Okay, so these people still need SEO, and yeah, they do care about SEO. Don't get it twisted. Every single one of these business owners cares a lot about SEO. It is money in their pocket, and believe me, because I talk to them every day, you can definitely believe that they don't care about SEO, but believe me, they all care a lot, and they all want to be number one. They all want to be in the map pack. They all want to be number one in organic, and they definitely want to get those leads because it's money. It is their mortgage payment. It's their family's future. It's their savings account. It's, the difference between staying where they're at or moving somewhere else. All these things matter. And yeah, don't be naive and think that it doesn't matter to these people. It absolutely does. So the second part, when you're talking about blog every day, make quality content, and people will come, it doesn't work unless you are a web designer, web developer, or marketer. It doesn't work for pretty much the majority of blue-collar businesses, because a lot of times these people, you know, they find it hard to create content on a regular basis. Now, some people have embraced it and they're doing really well. They're on social, they're making videos, they're making blog posts, but they're far and few between, and they're less than you think it is. So I just want to stress that SEO is not what you think it is. SEO really is holistic. It is about making good content, but it's also about formatting that content in a way that's visually appealing. It's good design, it's good links, it's good brand building, good reviews, good reputation. It's making sure that everything is dialed in the way that it should be, and so Google gets a comprehensive, accurate picture of what your business is about. And all those things added with quality content as well. Don't look at quality content just in isolation. That is definitely the most important component, but it's not the only one. My name is John Locke. My business is Lockdown Design and SEO. I'm here every single day making videos on SEO, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments below. I'd be happy to answer. That's it for now. Till next time, peace.